Hey everybody, it's Jody and I'm back with a much anticipated review for you today of my KoAloha KCO-10S concert ukulele. Let's just take a look at this sweet baby right off the bat. There she is. Alright, so this is a KoAloha instrument which you may know I adore because I have another one, my soprano. However, this is an Opio, which is their import brand. They spent years training the Thai workers in Thailand how to build their ukuleles to their specifications, their craftsmanship, and that's where these are built. These are built in Thailand, and then they're sent to their headquarters in Hawaii, where they actually assemble the neck onto the body and they do the setup and the final quality control inspections. So what that means is that this instrument has the same level of craftsmanship as just a regular KoAloha for a fraction of the price, which is pretty cool. And we'll talk about that again in a moment. But one thing that I find very interesting, and I'm not complaining about, is they have in their newer models, the ones I've seen in 2019, they took off the bottom part that said Opio. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up here. They used to have the KoAloha logo and then the word Opio down here. They've removed that. Now it just has the KoAloha logo. In fact, I found this on the ukulele site and it still showed the picture had the Opio, and I emailed them and asked them and they confirmed no, their newer models do not say Opio on there. And same with the label. The label just says KoAloha, and if you look real closely on the side, it says made in Thailand, and that's your only way of telling that it is an Opio and not just a KoAloha model. And to me, that's significant because I feel like they're not going to put their logo on an instrument that they don't believe is up to their standards. So to me, that tells me that they believe these Opios are up to their quality craftsmanship. So pretty cool right there. Let's get into the specs and we'll talk some more. So the body of this is solid, the top is solid Engelmann spruce. And the back and sides are solid acacia. Now that's another reason why it is cheaper than their Hawaiian built ukuleles, because in Hawaii they use Hawaiian koa, which is more expensive. This is solid acacia, back and sides. Still very, very, very beautiful. They were calling this a semi-gloss or light gloss, and I guess you can see that here, but it's almost more of a satin to me. It's a very, very light gloss. If you compare it to my, KSM-00, that's a much glossier. So this is just a more subtle little gloss to it. Let's see, the neck and fretboard and bridge are all made out of mahogany, sapele mahogany to be exact. The bridge has that little KoAloha name engraved in it, which I think is a really neat touch. The fretboard has the 5-point end that kind of mirrors the headstock there, which also I think is really beautiful. And it also is edge-bound fret. So of course, these are very, very, very smooth. It has a maple inlay fret markers, which I think is pretty neat. Have those wooden fret markers, and then it has the dots on the sides. The nut and saddle are made out of tusk, which it came with a little tag on it telling me a little bit about tusk. It says on here it increases the harmonic content and used by the world's finest guitar makers. Now on the back there's a little graph that compares it with bone, and it shows you that it the sustain is greater than bone in almost all areas when you go across the volume and the frequencies, which is pretty cool. And if you look at that green part at the end, that is the 16% extended harmonic sustain. So that's what you're getting when you're getting Tusk. I know some people are going to be interested in that. So very cool. It has the headstock, as I mentioned. It's got that 5-point crown headstock, which I really like. It's very a telltale that you've got a KoAloha, because they're the only ukulele, I don't know if they have it patented or what, but they're the only ukulele company that uses that shape headstock. And while we're up here, they have friction tuners. Now, the friction tuners are beautiful, and see how they have that little KoAloha logo on them? I think that's pretty cool, and I like the color of them. However, I just don't like friction tuners. I just lack the finesse to tune friction tuners. So I'm curious, if anybody knows, please write in the comments. I know they make gear tuners that look like friction tuners. I think they're called Goto. I'm curious if I could replace those and still keep these buttons. So if you know, please put them in the comments below. I might do that. I don't know. The good thing about friction tuners is they hold the tune pretty well. Once you have it in tune, you're not going to need to tune it very much at all. However, then if it needs a tiny tweak, that's where I run into trouble. It takes me longer to tune a friction tuner. So there we have. And now that I'm talking about it, I realize I didn't tune it before this review. So hopefully it's still like good for you. Speaking of like trademarks, it also has this trademark sound hole, and they call that musubi sound hole, and that is named after a food in Hawaii. And I did the research for you guys. This is what you don't get on other reviews. A musubi is a ball of rice wrapped in a slice of grilled spam tied together with dried seaweed. So presumably they make about that kind of shape when they're tied together. And that is another just very distinctive quality of KoAloha. So if you see someone across the room and you see that sound hole, you know they're playing a KoAloha, which is pretty cool. I like it. It's unique and pretty. Let's talk about the inside for a moment. The inside, another patented thing, quality characteristic they have is their bracing system. So most ukuleles, if you look in, you're going to see kerfling all along the where the top or the back meets the sides. This does not have that because their bracing system takes care of that for you. The bracing system goes like this. So if I chopped this in half and we looked at it from the side, that shape, that's what the bracing system is, just one piece around here. And what that results in is a very light instrument, which means it can vibrate very well and very resonant, and also a very strong instrument. So I believe that their bracing system contributes a lot to that classic KoAloha sound. All KoAlohas have great projection and are pretty loud and resonant and with a lot of sustain. And I think a lot of that is contributed to their unique bracing system. Let's see, any other specs? Okay, this ukulele came with a padded gig bag, and we will take a look at that. This is the gig bag it came with. Again, they just went with the KoAloha logo, which is embroidered on there. It no longer says Opio underneath. The case is, it's heavy, it's hefty. So that tells me it's well engineered and well padded, and it is. It's got a lot of thick padding. It's very soft, and even on the top, some cases skimp on the top. The top is just as padded as the sides and the back. Fits in there very snugly. The handle, I don't know if that's real leather, but it feels really smooth and nice. I like the handle. It's got a wonderful pocket with a lot of depth to it. I can't stand gig bags that just have a zipper here and you're supposed to slide stuff in. You can barely get a tuner in it. And also, they make the most out of this pocket. Sometimes ukulele gig bags will have a pocket with depth, but it'll be like this big. And it's like, use the whole size you have. So it's a big pocket, which I do appreciate. It only has one strap on the back. which I like too. But I just decided I'm going to use this strap for my banjolele. So I'm super excited about that. Because here's the thing. I'm not going to be using this case very much. And it's like my only gripe about this whole purchase is I think when you're buying a higher level ukulele, it should come with a hard case. And that's in fact what I did when I purchased it from Mem. I upgraded and got a harder case. Now that being said, I have used that gig bag one time already because the hard case is a lot heavier than I realized it was going to be. And I used this once when I took it to a jam session. And I will do that in that situation where I'm going someplace. This is going to stay with me at all times. I'm going someplace and then coming home. If I'm doing more traveling and this is going to go in the trunk of a car or things like that, I'm gonna carry that in a hard case. But I guess for certain situations, this case will work out. I mean, it is nicely padded. I just think it would have been nice had they provided a hard case for it. Let's see. Let's talk about price. This ukulele is $561, which is not cheap. Obviously, over $500. However, their KoAloha, you know, the Hawaiian-made concert ukuleles are over $1,000. Those are made out of solid koa, top, back, and sides, and made in Hawaii, but almost twice as much as this one. And then they also have a solid acacia model that the top is acacia as well, and that one is $468. So that one I have not played, but I'm thinking is probably one of the best values out there because it's the value is KoAloha. It is, if you were blindfolded and you played it, yeah, it is a premium instrument for more of a mid-level price, which I think is amazing. So yeah, this is $561. It did not come with the strap buttons, but I did have them installed because I'm pretty big proponent of straps now. I've been playing more complicated finger picking songs, and it's really helpful to have a ukulele that's just well supported. And then I also had a pickup installed. That's why that button looks a little different, because there's a pickup installed in there. But it doesn't come with that, so I'm not going to talk about that in this review. So I think that's all the specs. Let's play it a little bit. It's got great sustain. It sounds amazing. So it's loud. It's got that classic KoAloha sound. It's nice and loud, a lot of projection. However, sometimes when instruments are really loud, they get muddy, and this one does not. It has good distinction. You can hear every note when you're playing it, which is amazing and wonderful. So one of my subscribers described it perfectly and said that it's sweet but not strident sounding. That was Jennifer Lenner, and I agree. It's, when you hear spruce, I mean, when you think of spruce, you know it's going to be a bright sound. And when you think of bright sound, when I think of bright sound, I sometimes think it could be a little harsh. This one's not. This still has that sweet sparkle to it, but it is bright as well. It's crisp. I mentioned the sustain just goes on for days. I really like finger picking on this one. Very resonant. Just so pretty. So pretty. else can I say? It's obviously, if you're paying $500, it's gonna have great intonation, which this one does, and it's gonna be set up well, which this one was. Of course it was, because I also bought it from Mim. So it went through 2 setups, and it plays so well. I'm going to be doing a video describing higher end ukuleles and comparing them to more entry-level ukuleles. And a big, spoiler alert here, a big difference is the playability, how it feels in your hand. And it's kind of hard to describe. But it's easy to play. This is so responsive. And by that, I mean, I don't have to put a lot of effort into getting the sound out of it at all. I'm not super great at hammer-ons and pull-offs. But I can do it a lot better on this. You don't have to do a lot of effort to play. It almost plays itself. So that's a really cool thing. The strings, I forgot to mention, are KoAloha formulated fluorocarbon strings. All of their instruments come with their own fluorocarbon strings, and then they don't sell them, which I find very interesting, and I'm not sure why. But so once you wear out the strings that they came with, then you got to do some shopping and figure out which ones you want to replace them with. They don't sell their own strings, but they advertise them as being their own strings that they come with. So, but they are definitely fluorocarbon. And I think they sound really nice. Another thing I wanted to mention is the depth of this. It's 2.25 inches. And I forgot to look up what that is in centimeters. Maybe I'll put it somewhere here. And it's just a tiny bit skinnier than most of my concert ukuleles. Those are all 2.5 inches, or even 2.5 inches here, and then they get a little bit bigger here. This is 2.25 inches all the way across, which is not a significant difference, but I feel it. It feels slightly smaller, and I like it. I'm a small person. Concert's my favorite size to play, and this one just fits me so nicely, and I like that little bit of a skinnier body. Certainly doesn't make it any quieter or anything like that. It's still got that nice loud projection. So do I have anything else to say about this? Let me look at my notes. No, I don't. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a comparison video very soon, comparing this one with this other solid spruce top right here. This is the one I'm giving away on April 9th, 2019. It's a solid spruce top K-Mice concert ukulele that would cost me about $50. And I'm gonna be comparing that one with this one and talking about high-end ukuleles in general and what makes them more expensive, is it worth it, and how does that translate to how it sounds. So if you have any questions about that, put them in the comments and I'll make sure to address it in my next video. Or if you have questions on this specific ukulele, put them in the comments and I will answer them. I really enjoy hearing your thoughts, so I'd love to hear what you think of this sweet little ukulele. And it doesn't have a name yet, guys. I'm such a bad mother. So if you have a perfect name, you can put that in the comments as well. So thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this review, I would really appreciate if you gave it a like. And if you subscribe, if you have not already. I have been really working hard to grow this channel, and all those likes and subscribes really help me out. So I appreciate that. Have a great day, and don't forget to play your uke today.